Let's do some trading with Scott Bauer, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. So, Scott, it's been a rough week for retail earnings. One more, really, I guess, here in Ulta. What do you think?
Yeah, the overall sentiment for retail really is bearish. That being said, I love this stock, but I do think there's some headwinds coming into this print specifically. Kevin highlighted a big support area down around the 400 range, which I absolutely agree with. So when I look at the charts here, we're kind of sitting in the middle of no man's land. And when I see this, especially going into an earnings, a big report like this, what I typically want to do is look at that expected move that Kevin was talking about and see if there is a way to play both sides of a move here. And I'm doing that in Ulta. So what I'm doing, Oliver, I'm using next week's options, not tomorrow, but next week, September 1st. I'm selling the 405, 400 put spread. At the same time, I'm selling the 465, 470 call spread. That's called an iron condor. We've talked about this strategy before. I can collect about $2.25. So my break evens on this at expiration next Friday. To the downside, 402.75. To the upside, 467.25. I've got this big spread. It's about $65 wide range where I'm good out to next Friday. Now, what is the caution behind this? What's the risk behind this? It is a 100% completely risk-defined trade. If we move out of those ranges, sure, I can lose, but the most I can lose is a maximum of $2.75. I like this setup. I really like the ranges. I like that it coincides with, again, what Kevin had talked about, support on the downside.
Okay. So looking for this to kind of get squeezed a little bit, to, have a well-defined range. And with a lot of folks getting ready for the earnings and pumping up the premium, you can get a nice little, collection of a premium to bet on that, right? That's what's kind of nice about the timing.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. I wouldn't do this if it weren't for that increased volatility going into earnings. I just wouldn't be receiving enough premium. But again, I love this kind of setup, Oliver, because it is 100% risk defined. So, I go into this knowing what my reward and risk is, and I, size it appropriately. And I really think there's some value to this trade here.
Okay, I like it. 465, 470 on one side, and doing basically the similar thing on the opposite end. So the iron condor looking for Ulta to stay range bound here, collecting some premium as other folks are betting on a move going into the report, down about 2.5% right now. Thanks, Scott Bauer. Like the trade?
Thanks, Oliver.
Appreciate the explanation.